studio. Doing the wonderful Christmas season, one of the most asked questions is, how do I get my hangers onto my gourd? So we're going to show you a little video on that today to help you with that. My favorite thing to use is bead caps, and what these are actually little caps that you put your bead in the middle and they cover your bead, and they come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes from big to real little. So there's a bunch of different varieties out there, and you can find them in your craft stores, Walmart in the craft section, so there's a lot of places they are available. My favorite are the bigger end caps, and I find these at Hobby Lobby, and they come in both silver and gold. So I really appreciate these, and they've always had these when I'm looking for them, so that makes them ready available so I can go out and grab them. Now I will show you another way how to do it with beads as well if you cannot find end caps, or if you just want to use what you have in your cupboard. So the first thing I do is I usually take my gourd and paint it. I am always using metallic acrylic paints during the holidays. I like that the best because then I put my brush on triple thick after that, so that they are a lot more durable and you can pull them out again year after year and can be handled a little bit more. So I start out with my metallic paint, and people don't believe, but I do hot glue mine on, and these were some that were done last year, and you can see I do not have a problem with them coming off, and we'll talk about an alternative as well as the hot glue. The first thing I do is I take my cording, and I find a cording that I think accents the color that I am using the best, and you figure out how big you want your hanger. Now if you're going to make a bunch of these, measure it and get the same size so you have them all the same size. You don't have one an inch taller and an inch smaller and stuff like that, so that they're all consistent in size when they're all together. So all I do is take it and just tie a knot at the end of it and pull it just like that and tighten that knot. And then I take my bead cap and I pull this through the hole. So you've got to make sure that your hole is big enough that this can fit through your cording, or you can use gold thread or whatever you like to use for the holidays, but it's got to be, and see that's not quite big enough, so we're going to tie another knot in here to make this a little bit bigger. Another thing you can do is you don't have to tie the second knot, but we can glue it in, but I'm going to just go ahead and tie that. So you do not want that slipping through. So we're going to pull that up. Now you can either push your ends down, make sure that they're down, or if you have longer ends you can cut them off because you do not want that to show once you get that cap on there. So I'm going to put my hot glue in here. We're going to fill up all of the hole, push those ends down, and a little bit so it comes out so it's onto the gourd. And the reason we can use hot glue on gourds is gourds are absorbent, and I'm going to put that right over the tip of my gourd, and I am working on a coyote gourd for those that you don't know. And another reason to do this instead of drilling them, coyote gourds are thin shelled, and a lot of times you'll end up breaking them when you drill through them to put the hooks into. And I've always done this way. It's just so much faster and simpler. And see, we've already got it like that. You also can put it onto your gourd first and then paint it, because you've got something to hold on to, and it's easier to do that. Now when you're working with the coyote gourds, and if they do have a little tail, they're really easy just to pop right off, and then you can put it right on. Now if you're concerned about the hot glue staying on, use your E6000 instead. Now there's going to be one major thing in that. is if you glue it and set it on your gourd, you're going to have to put it somewhere, and do not move it or touch it for 24 hours. And I do mean 24 hours because it has to have time to set up. I actually was trying to rush and get one. We were asked to enter for the Arizona Centennial Tree this year, and I tried to hurry it, and every time I would mess with it, it would come undone. So it has to be on there for 24 hours. And once that's on there, that's not going to come off. So those of you that are concerned with the hot glue, you can use the E6000 instead. Now, if you can't find any bead caps, we're going to show you how to use just a bead. And you could use, again, the E6000 instead of the hot glue if you wanted to. The first thing I'm going to do is just put enough to set my bead on there, onto my gourd. And I use smaller ones, even smaller than this, but you've got, the one thing that you have to make sure when you're doing this is make sure that you can get 2 strands of your cording or thread or whatever you're using into the bead that is big enough to do that. So you see both of those fit in there, so that's just fine. Then I take the bead and we're going to fill it full of hot glue. I have a little bit come out on the edge. We're going to get that off there. And you just simply take your cording and we're going to stick it into that hot glue. So what it's going to do is actually just dry right in that hot glue. And you want to make sure that you have that fairly well. And don't pull on that till that's completely dry, but then you have another way to hang those. And see how simple that is, and it's a lot faster than drilling your gourd to tie in your hanger. So that is how I do that. If you have any questions on it, please email me at art@miriamjoy.com. You can also visit my webpage at miriamjoy.com. There's a YouTube link, takes you to more fun YouTube links, as well as the Facebook page where we're always having fun contests. And if you're joining me this year, Christmas 2012, we're doing the 25 Days of Christmas, where we're giving away a great prize every day. So come on over and join the fun. Have a Merry Christmas. God bless.